Hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and unfortunately, Niema can't be here with us today because she's off doing some business and stuff, and she's just super busy this month. Now, Rose was actually supposed to be here today, but due to my lame brain, I forgot about time differences, and it kind of messed that up. And you might be asking, oh, Rose was going to come back, I wonder why. Well, this is why. Because we have a returning guest, and she's returning quite quickly. And the reason for that is because her story is just so great. And who doesn't want to learn more about star people and folks who aren't exactly from this planet? So, returning for the second time, please welcome Alien Contactee Morgan.
Hey everyone.
So welcome back.
I'm back. Yep.
We're gonna get down into it. Like I said, though, we had some weird issues with time zones. Mostly it was my fault. No, it is all my fault. It's not mostly. I take the blame on this.
It's okay.
So, but we're gonna continue
right.
on anyway, and eventually we will have a show with you and Rose. We'll just have to do more planning.
Yeah, no problem. We'll make it happen. No worries. No worries.
Yeah. So, how are you doing today?
I am good. I'm just sitting here with my cat. She's actually listening to me, so.
Oh, hello, Kitty.
Yeah, she likes to listen in to my conversations.
Yeah, typical cat, being nosy.
Yep, definitely.
You know what was funny? Not too long ago, I was speaking to someone, and they were telling me that there is a theory that cats are actually aliens, and they are spying on us to take over the world. What do you think about that?
Actually, now that you mention that, I want to mention something. When I was having a lot of my experiences, or like most of my experiences, I had a strange cat who kind of showed up on my doorstep one day. And you might remember pictures of her. She was like a tortoiseshell cat, and she had really beautiful eyes. I don't know if you remember pictures of her, but she just kind of randomly showed up, and she was a very strange cat. Uh, I'll just say that about her, but I really fell in love with her, and she was in love with me, and I think she was kind of maybe there to watch me or something, as weird as that sounds.
Well, it doesn't sound weird, but now you're making me think there might be something to that theory.
Yeah, it was strange. She just kind of showed up and during that little time period. And she was a very her just her persona and something about her was weird. It was strange. But I loved her. And she was like my little familiar, I guess you can say.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, maybe she showed up when you needed her most.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess I'll never know for now, at least. But
Yeah, but wow.
yeah.
Okay, so you're starting to give credit to this theory. So, people who have cats, watch out. They are legit watching you for a good reason.
Cats are definitely spiritual beings.
Yeah, do you believe it's true that they can actually see into the well, they can see through the veil?
Yes, I do. I do believe it 100%.
Yeah,
I think they are capable of that.
a friend of mine, he was telling me that if you take, like, if you rub cat eyes and then rub it on your eyes, he was saying that you'll be able to see ghosts and stuff like that. I don't know if I believe that. Chances are you would probably get some weird bumps on your eyes. But if anyone wants to try that out, please go ahead and do it and get back to me. Let us know if
Yeah,
it's
I
awesome.
mean, I've never tried that, but I really do think that cats are able to do that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they do have
Hmm.
a weird little mysterious aura about them.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I don't know. And then don't forget to give them their food, or else they're gonna annoy you to death.
I know they're like like little kings and queens living in the house.
Oh no, they are. You're the servant. So,
Mhm.
but
We really are.
but speaking of experiences, you were telling me before we started that you experienced something after the last show, and I stopped you because I didn't want to hear it. Like, not until we go live. And
Right.
so, what is this experience? Please share with us now.
Okay. So right after, yeah, I want to say maybe a little bit after, I was just kind of taking a drive. And I normally like to go for drives at night and I play my music. Um, and all of a sudden, like, because I take the usual route. I go down this like long country road. And all of a sudden, in the sky, not so far away, in front of my car is this sphere of light, I guess. And it's much larger than like you would see a dot or a plane or something like that. And it was just kind of sitting there. And I kind of slowed my car down a little bit because I was like, huh, that's really strange. And all of a sudden, it just kind of drops very quickly. And I'm like, okay, wow, that's really bizarre. So I slowed my car down a little more, and I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden, it just kind of uh, quickly turns into this little red dot, but it looks like it's so far away from me. And that was it. And then I think I mentioned in the first, yeah, when we went live first, I tend to get like these weird vibrations throughout my body
Mm-hmm.
when they're close by. And that happened for a couple of nights as well.
Holy cow.
Since I've been talking and kind of like, I started like a blog, and I've just been thinking about them a lot, kind of trying to maybe contact them through telepathy. But yeah, so those were my two little experiences after.
I
Now that you
wouldn't
know.
say that's I wouldn't say it's little. And it looks like you may have cracked the door back open a bit.
Yeah, I think they haven't been wanting to interfere with my life for a while. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm calling them back or they're calling me back. I don't know, but yeah.
Well, if they do come back, tell them to bring cheesecake. So,
Cheesecake, right.
yeah, I
I'll
mean, come on.
remember that.
Who doesn't like cheesecake? The stuff is
I love
delicious.
cheesecake. I do
Exactly.
too.
If a person does not like cheesecake, I can't trust them. That's
I know.
simple.
And I like it made from scratch too.
Of course, everything
That's the
tastes better
best.
made from scratch.
Damn right, it takes forever, but it's great.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Hmm.
So, but that is pretty interesting though. After the
Hmm.
show, and it's like, oh, hey, I know this feeling. I haven't had it for a second, but wait a sec. What's going on here?
Right, yeah.
Wow.
Yep, that's what happened.
So, do you remember what was going through your mind aside from what the heck is that when you were seeing that light?
The first thing that came to mind was this is not a plane or something. This is weird. And then they came to mind immediately just because I know of them, and I know that they're out there and I know that they do watch me. Um, so that's why I slowed my car down because I was hoping to get a better look, and it did drop. I don't know why it would drop like that, but all I pictured, I know this is gonna sound funny, but all I pictured was like two of them in there, and one of them's trying to come down to see me, and the other one's like, no, she'll see us. Like that's the whole thing I'm picturing as I'm driving home and I'm laughing. But to be honest, I don't really know. It was just, I knew it wasn't a plane. That's all I could say. That's all I could tell myself.
Yeah. Now,
Mhm.
I've I heard people talk about this. Sometimes they'll see little spears of light and they get like
Mhm.
super, super, super bright and then they dim out. Have you ever seen that?
Uh, well, that's what it kind of looked like almost. But yeah, but it didn't like dim out or anything. It just kind of turned into this little red dot. And by the time it was this little red dot, it was way further away from me. Um, but yeah, it did look like the little ball of light, just like a really bright light, and it was very still and just kind of facing my car.
Yeah,
Um,
someone was definitely telling you, hey.
right? I agree. Yeah, it was funny.
Okay, now something else you said that you forgot to mention in the last show was something to do with a tall visitor.
Yes, the taller gray that I mentioned last time, very vaguely, I was a little bit nervous to talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I started a blog with this. I wrote it down, trying to remember the things that I experienced. But I don't know if you wanted to know something specific or if I should just mention
No,
little things.
go ahead and mention a few things. So don't worry.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to mention that uh, I was actually able to feel his skin at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't really know exactly what was going on, but I know I mentioned how I kind of would wake up a little bit groggy or out of it, and I had been like this, and I actually felt someone holding me against them in this state. And I don't want to get into it completely because, I'll just cut it off right here. I will just say that I felt a hand kind of, how do I say this nicely, exploring
Oh,
my
okay.
body a
Got
little
you.
bit. Yeah.
We'll just say examining.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. And my first reaction, because I'm out of it and I don't know, I don't like to feel like I'm not in control, I guess. I just kind of shoved the hand away
Uh-huh.
a little bit and I was a little, I kind of freaked out. And then after that, he placed his arm underneath my hand and kind of just let me run my hand along his arm. I don't know, I'm guessing to say, just relax, it's me, or don't be afraid, I guess. And I was able to actually feel his skin.
Wow.
He
Oh,
let me feel his skin.
I have to know, do you recall what his skin felt like?
Yes, it was, have you ever been to the aquarium
Are you gonna
and
say
like
it
were
felt
able,
like a dolphin?
not a dolphin. I don't know what a dolphin feels like. I've never touched a dolphin. But
Okay.
if you've ever, yeah, I don't know if you've ever been in like the touch tanks with the manta rays and the cow nose rays. Um, that's what it felt like. I don't know if you've touched them before. It was the only thing I could think of because I touched them when I was younger
Oh
at
my
the
God,
aquarium.
Morgan, get out of here. Like, this is why I wish
I
freaking Rose was here right now because she remembers one time when she touched I think it was supposed to be a Zeta Gray, and when she was describing it to me, she said, like, Melvin, you ever been to the aquarium? And you feel something in the skin is kind of smooth and everything, and but she said like a
yeah.
dolphin because she's touched dolphins before. But
Okay, maybe it's similar
yeah, no,
to
it's
the
exactly,
rays.
it's very
Mm,
similar. And
right.
get out of here. Are you
Yeah, and
kidding?
he was very I don't know, it was like a very familiar, like he knew me, or I don't know. It was really weird. And I heard him speak as well. And I think I mentioned I've heard him speak before, but his voice was very deep and it sounded like he was speaking another language.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he kind of just after I was able to feel his skin, he kind of put his arms, both of his arms, just kind of around me to hold me close to him. And that's all I remember. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that just because I was a little, I didn't know if I should mention it or not, but I was like, you know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't know who he is, but he definitely knows me. Like I don't know.
And you know what I find interesting? You know for a fact
What?
it's a he. You keep saying
It's a
he.
he. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Trust me, it's a he. So just the way, the voice, and I mean, his hand. Never mind. Let's not go there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, but there we go.
Yep.
That is that. There.
Hmm.
Wow. Oh, Rose, curse you, being down under. But
And yeah, I think with Rose, I think she believes that she's also family to
yes,
them as well. So
yes.
I think I like that.
She said that many times,
Hmm.
and I think Marina has also said that many times, and other people.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
there's something going on here. I will probably never understand it,
I
but
don't know. I don't know either. But
okay.
yeah.
Oh, and I have the sniffles, and I'm trying not to do any disgusting noises, and it's so hard right now because it is freezing in here. Like, I just can't stand cold weather. I hate it.
I know I can't either. I'm ready for the summer.
So, ah. All right. Now, let's move on to this. Are you a conspiracy theorist?
No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do believe that there are like powers behind the scenes that are kind of influencing things
Yeah.
and trying to push countries and our world in a certain direction that they want to. But I'm not so much into it, that I'm
Okay, so
obsessed or anything.
we won't talk about the JFK assassination then. But,
JFK
it was an inside job, I swear.
I think it was. I mean, I think a lot of things are inside jobs nowadays.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah.
I will talk about this, and I really would like your opinion on it. The
Okay.
idea, and for those listening who might be outside of the States, I'm keeping this strictly to the US because this is where we live, and, we know the US military for the most part. So,
Hmm.
but anyway, there are stories, rumors, and theories that suggest that the U.S. military, or rather the U.S. government, is behind a lot of the quote unquote alien abductions that
Hmm.
happen, and they do this to experiment on people, almost like a new type of MK Ultra project.
Okay, I've
And
heard of this.
and they pretend to be extraterrestrials and all that mess. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think it's any truth
Um,
to it?
okay. I don't believe that any of my experiences were government at all. Um, I do believe, because other people have said it, where they say that they have experienced like MK Ultra, I don't really know a lot about it, but I do think that the government or, whatever, whoever's behind, I think that they're kind of, mm, it's like, I don't know if I want to say copying the technology or something along those lines, and kind of, yeah, maybe like interrogating people, or I don't know about abductions because I don't know if they're at that level yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I won't, if somebody says like they believe they were taken by a Men in Black or something, I hear that a lot. Like the real Men in Black.
Yeah,
I don't
not
know.
Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones,
Right.
guys.
Yeah, yeah, I've never experienced that, but I won't say that people are lying. Because it's kind of, scattered across where I'll hear people mentioning it. Like, so I don't really know what they would do to people, like what our government, human beings, would want to do to other human beings, where they would abduct them and then, uh, you know what I mean? I don't. It's like hard for me to say because I don't think I've really experienced it. You
Yeah,
know?
that might be a good thing because,
Hmm.
and this is how evil I sound, or
Hmm.
maybe not evil, but pessimistic. Like, people are capable of some dark things, especially when
Oh,
they
of
don't
course.
care.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think with those, if there are government abductions and they're experimenting like that, it could be to see what drives a person to fear, like if they can mess around with their internal organs perhaps, or just do it just because. I mean, because in the MK Ultra stuff, they would legit kidnap people and drug them up on LSD to try and get them, like, make them essentially into Jedi,
Hmm.
you know. And so I don't put anything past the government.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm they might really be doing that. Just it's like I don't know to what extent, and um it's like I don't know if they're kidnapping like other government officials or
Yeah,
CIA. That's the thing. It's like I don't really know.
yeah, and
It's such a mystery with that, but
that would be
um
interesting though. Them taking other investigating other agencies and such, like alien contact. Like, we're gonna get this guy. Like, oh, Bob,
yeah.
you made me mad today. Oh, so
And there's also theories. I want to mention this just because uh, if it ever does happen, I don't want people to think that it's really the aliens or the star people. There's a conspiracy that the government is actually like creating spaceships or something to fake an alien invasion to kind of bring in the, how people talk about the New World Order.
yes,
Yeah, and bring upon martial law and all this stuff. And I don't know how true that is. I don't think they're gonna do it that way or try it that way. But if it ever does happen, I'm telling you now that it won't be the star people.
that's a pretty popular thing too. I think even John Lear spoke about it a few times,
Hmm.
and I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I don't. Well, again, the point is to get control over people and use their fear against them.
Right, right.
I don't know how
And
true
that
it
is one of the
is.
biggest fears.
Yeah, I don't know how true it is. But then I also heard rumors that they already have, like, they've advanced technology enough to where they actually can travel to Mars, and they've done it, and the super rich and elite already have their tickets or whatever, and they have colonies on Mars and such. That
Right.
one for me is a very big stretch.
Yeah, I've heard of that one too. I would think that they have more so like underground bunkers because I think they know that there's like a nuclear threat and like where we're going as a species,
Yeah.
that we could end up in a nuclear war or something. I don't know about Mars.
Yeah, that just
I don't,
seems so weird to me. And I've always
but
said, and I'm gonna uh, go to this. Um, well, don't worry, guys. I'm orbiting to a point here, and it's gonna be a good one, I swear. Because Morgan, I'm dying to get your opinion on this because I never asked you this before.
okay.
All right, so I've always wanted to know, why are we going to and trying to colonize Mars instead of the moon first? Like, why don't we practice with that? It's closer to home. If something goes wrong, we're more likely to save everyone. Why Mars? Something that'll take like 6 to 8 months to get to, and there's no way back. I've never understood that. And um,
Mm.
over the years, I've been researching just a little conspiracy theories and stories on the moon. I won't get into the one that the lunar landing, it was a hoax. I won't go there, not this time. That's another time. But I will say that I will say this one. And before I get to that, Morgan, why is it that we've never gone back to the moon?
You know what? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
that is the ultimate question. Why have we not gone back there? Why? It's right there. We have man, the technology is more than capable at this point. Why aren't we
I mean,
colonizing it? And the story goes that when we first arrived on the moon, like we saw things that we couldn't explain. There are supposed to be some type of alien bunkers up there and other little hidden things that we weren't supposed to see. And NASA, they cut off communication and wiped images and all that to hide it from the general public, which I partially do believe NASA and other space programs, they do cover things that should not
oh
be
yeah,
there.
I agree with you.
But
Uh,
in this case, we went there and we went too many times and we ran into something or someone who said, hey, you get off of here and you don't freaking come back. And we
mhm.
haven't been back since. So, do you think that there's life on the moon?
Life,
Yeah, life. Basically, visitors on the moon watching
I
us.
think I think there are visitors. I'm not sure if anybody really lives there. But yeah, I mean, it's I wonder now that you said that,
Yeah, because no
you
one can
know.
explain to me why we never gone back, especially now that we want to colonize space.
Mhm. Um, I mean, that could be it. I get this feeling that like there are visitors and they really don't want these human beings like trying to colonize every single thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know, or trying to control everything around them. But yeah, it's hard to say because I wish I could have one of them here right now and talk to them about that. But
yeah. I mean, I am so curious about that. And then
um,
it goes to if there is someone there, what are they doing? Like, what exactly are you watching for? And why haven't you made your presence known? Actually, I think that's the scarier thing. Like, could you imagine that you're an astronaut, you go to the moon, you run into something that's not human, and it says, don't come back here, and you can't tell a soul because the government says so, or else you'll get a knock at the door, and you
mhm.
have all this information in your head, and you know you're being watched, and you can't say anything. How scary would that be?
I think it would make me more mad than anything.
Uh-oh.
But
That
yeah,
fiery Italian
yeah,
spirit coming out. Like,
I
eh.
guess so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know if it's like somebody went there and then somebody said, "Don't come here." I don't. I can't say that. I don't want to put that in people's
Yeah.
heads. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I do feel like there's this. Um, well, all right. Let me just mention this. I have a friend who is. I know we mentioned hybrids. She's also. Um, she believes she's a hybrid, and we actually look alike as well.
Well,
And I talk to her a lot. She's one of my really good friends, and she kind of goes into how, like, recently she's been going on about how it's crazy how now we're trying to colonize all these planets, and about Trump and all this. And she's like, uh, you're bothering peaceful extraterrestrials, living in or around the area, and they don't want that, and going on and on about that. So I don't know if that's true, or um, maybe it's more to that extent where it's like, don't come here, don't bother
yeah.
uh, us or whatever.
Maybe that is. Maybe,
I really, honestly, as harsh as this sounds, I really don't think they want full scale interaction with the human species.
I can't say I
I know,
blame them.
yeah, I don't, I know that sounds really harsh, and I'm not trying to upset anybody. It's just what I think.
Yeah, no, and like
I
I said,
really don't think they want anything. They don't want to interact.
going from our own history, I can't say I blame them. Usually it's a shoot
I,
first, ask later type of deal. And
right. And that
but
doesn't mean, I don't hate humanity. I
no.
love people from a distance, I guess. It's hard to interact with them, but it's just the way it is. I
Yeah.
mean, we're like, just,
Well, the best way to
I mean,
put it,
look at us,
we're
you know?
infants. That's simple. We
Exactly.
throw
We're
temper
very
tantrums.
young species, very just immature spiritually, whatnot. I just don't think they want anything to do with people on a full scale.
Yeah, but saying that though, if someone's going to explore and try to learn more about the universe and all that, you can't
Hmm.
just stay isolated to one spot. I mean, surely they can
Right.
understand that.
Of
I mean,
course.
and I do believe the first time exploring, I don't think, I mean, chances of us actually running into a highly advanced, intelligent race, I mean, I don't think it's too high at the moment. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't want to try to start mess. That's just suicide.
Oh, yeah.
So, but then, I don't know. Weird things happen every day. So, what can
Hmm.
I say? Especially with the Cheeto Man in office. So, I don't know.
The Cheeto Man, yeah, I like that one. It's good, true. I think just his mindset alone kind of, it just, it's like representative of the entire human race. His mindset. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why they want nothing. I mean, even me I consider myself a star seed hybrid, whatever. I can't even stand humans. It's
Oh,
hard for me to be around them, even living the human experience. I have to isolate myself and I cannot be around them many times. I'm not to sound harsh again, but
well,
it is what
I
it is.
I don't think we'll be getting milkshakes anytime soon, Morgan.
No, I love you. No,
Oh no, that
it's
doesn't
like,
work. No, I can't stand people. I love you though. Nope, nope. Sorry,
no,
too bad.
it's like, if I get to know people and one on one, I'm sure there are many lovely people out there.
Of
It's just
course.
as a collective and what I see every day and have to deal with, and just seeing people's really the worst and the worst of them.
Yeah,
I
that's
just can't, I can't be around it. I can't. I have to isolate myself sometimes,
yeah, that's one of the biggest issues with humanity. For whatever reason, we oftentimes have the worst of us on the surface, and the best of us is just buried all the way beneath there. Usually,
Yeah,
it takes some conditioning to bring out the best in a person.
right. And I think everyone's capable of being, I try to see the best, and I'm
Oh,
very gentle with people. I don't like to hurt anyone, but I have to I have to stay away from people sometimes because I will just it's hard for me
yeah, and
to
then
deal
are
with it.
you also an empath?
Um I mean, like, I don't, it's like, I don't want to use that word because it's so, everybody uses it nowadays, but I do tend to, yeah, if I'm out in a very crowded place or around certain people, I'll kind of pick up on emotions or even pain sometimes. Or if somebody's not feeling well, I can pick up on it and it affects me.
Okay,
Um,
we'll say
yeah,
you're very aware of energy.
yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, especially in crowds. If I'm in a big crowd, I start to get a little bit of anxiety, kind of don't feel well, just kind of pick up everybody's angst and bad moods, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel it as my own. And then I'm like, why do I feel like this? Why am I so angry? What is going on?
Yep. I know how that
But
goes.
yeah. So, yep.
That's interesting. I feel like we're learning so much about you, though. And
Yeah.
I will say this, you're also not as nervous as before.
I know. I'm a little better now. I guess it's easier to talk about a little bit.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
first time I was kind of.
yeah, usually the first time is the hardest, but once
Hmm.
you're over that hurdle, it's like, oh, okay. Believe me, the
Right.
very first podcast Rose and I did, it was terrible. Absolutely horrible. We were both nervous. I didn't know what I was doing. Sound was terrible.
It's hard to talk about, and it's hard to get everything right,
Yeah,
So
and then you're
it's all
talking
right.
about these things that just you don't talk about every day. Well,
Right.
I talk about it every day now, but
That's fine.
under normal
Um,
circumstances, you just don't talk about it every
oh,
day.
right. I would never. Um, it's a little awkward
Yeah, and
to.
then for someone like you, it must be so terribly dreadful not being able to say anything because I mean, this is you.
Exactly. Yeah, it is me, and it's like it kind of seeps into how I live my life and how I act around people and what I choose to do in life. It's like, and people don't really understand a lot of why I do things, and uh, it's like, how do you explain? Well, this is why, or and then come out with all of that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you gonna do?
Okay, so here's one for you as well.
Hmm.
The Roswell crash from 1947.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think that is? Do you think it was extraterrestrial crash? Do you think they were shot down? Do you even think it's real?
Um. Well, it's so hard to say because it's like, how could I don't know if it kind of amazes me like how easily something like that could happen. But I don't know, maybe something did go wrong and they were passing through and something with the gravity maybe pulled them or something, and I don't know, maybe it did happen and now we've got a hold of this technology or whatever that's not from our world, and we're using it and not telling people about it, and this is why um, we've got MK Ultra and whatnot. Maybe
Yeah,
like
well,
uh
I don't know how true this is, but
mhm.
it's been many things that was supposed to be reverse engineered from
Yeah.
technology in the Roswell incident.
Hmm. I
Um,
believe we would do things like that. That's the sad part.
yeah,
So
and the problem is it's never to benefit anyone. It's always tools of
always.
destruction for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, because we human beings are just at their current mind state are so obsessed with power and um, control, I guess. So it's like I could see some reverse engineering going on, and who knows what they're doing with, that if they do have it. Uh, but yeah.
Now you say human beings, but I'm gonna go a bit deeper. I won't even say it's humans as a collective doing it. It's always a select few who just happen to be in control.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, when people get in control, you kind of see their true colors, I guess. So,
yeah, give a
um,
man $2 million. Yeah, give a man millions of dollars, and his true colors will show.
oh, definitely. Yeah. There's a
And
lot of sick people out there. So,
I could tell you
I
now,
can only imagine.
I won't be sick, but I would be a selfish son of a monkey's uncle. That's for sure. I would vanish. What happened to Melvin? I don't know. He just disappeared one
He
day.
just disappeared. Yeah.
Like, you better
Um,
believe it. I'm buying me a small island. And I'm kicking it.
right? Yeah. I wouldn't hurt anyone. I don't know. Some people, there are many sick people out there, even just walking around, that aren't in power. They have very, I can't say, it's like some people I've come across, I'm like, oh, thank God you are not in some place of power in our country, because it would be like a dictatorship or something.
Yeah, just like the red flags immediately come up.
Yeah, the
All
true crazy.
all right, so I'm actually happy you mentioned power because this is a good segue into this. So, this goes into a little bit more conspiracy stuff. I don't know if it's true or not. I I believe that every story is based off a little bit of truth. So perhaps it
Hmm.
is something here. But what do you think about the idea that the world was originally reptilians? And
Mm.
you might know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And a Nordic group of star people, or a humanoid type of star people. I don't know if it was the Anuki, or I know I'm butchering names, guys. I'm sorry. But anyway,
I know what you mean.
they came and they're like, no, this is no longer your planet. We're planting the seeds here. You guys are out. And now the reptilians are PO'd about that, and they've been kicking it underground or in a separate dimension, and they are slowly taking over the world by infiltrating government and pretending to be world leaders and slowly bringing it towards its destruction so they can rise back up and take over. What do you think about that?
Okay. Well, first I want to say I've had a lot of experiences with reptilians, and I write about that in my blog, so I'm not going to go into that. You could just read it. I'll post it somewhere. Anyway, I do believe, going back to the race of human beings that you mentioned, which I believe do exist, and I believe that they actually seeded life here, to be honest. Um, and I don't believe that they are nice. Let me just tell you that. Like, I think they kind of influenced a lot of religions that we have today as well.
Hmm.
Um, and it's like, I do believe that the reptilians, like, I think that this was originally their world. I really do believe that. I haven't been told that, but I don't know. It's just kind of like intuition, maybe, or something's telling me that um, there was an intelligent race here. I don't know if this was where they were um, born or if they traveled here or what. But I do believe they were here before humans. And I do think that maybe this other race came in that was, I personally I don't think that they're kind at all. I don't know why I believe that. Um, I guess just from researching a lot about them and kind of putting like the pieces of the puzzle together. And yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe they told them to get out or kind of took over a little bit and started seeding life here. But it's like, I wouldn't know why they would leave. And regarding like the reptilians infiltrating governments and stuff, I I personally don't think I believe in that. I mean, just from experiencing them, I don't really think that they care to do that.
Okay.
It just seems like they're very, uh, I don't know, like just kind of in their own little world.
Yeah, they have their own
And
issues. They don't care about.
yeah, it's like I really think that that's just kind of a conspiracy to place fear on people regarding extraterrestrials. And I don't know, it's like everything has to be about fair nowadays because even in some movies, I think I mentioned like last time about the number 1111 and how I started seeing it during my awakening. Well, there's actually a horror movie that's called 1111 now. And it's like based on the 1111 is supposed to be like the devil's number.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just like we've got to make everything, we have to put some fair into everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we have to believe that it's like it's not just humans that are a-holes. I'm sorry. It's got to be Satan or the reptilians are doing it. It's never us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's never just normal human beings that are sick in the head. and happen to have a place of power. It's always that they've got to be possessed or they're actually reptilian, they're not human. But I don't believe in it, you know? I mean, maybe there's a select few that try to do that. I don't think it's like a whole group of them are trying to like take over or anything like that, but I can't say for sure. So I really don't know.
Okay, well,
Mhm.
that's good enough for me because I don't think anyone will ever truly know,
Yeah.
except for I do believe that there have been civilizations here before us.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and I do believe that there's been a lot of destruction over the years on this planet. I
Mhm.
mean, if science is right, then I mean the planet's a couple of billion years old and stuff. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a long time.
Yeah. I
So
think a lot did happen here, and regarding the human extraterrestrials you mentioned, I just want to mention a little something why I think they're not kind beings. I'm sure there are some that are very kind, but I think that they, just from reading a lot of religious texts and like really ancient texts and doing some other research, it almost seems like these beings, whoever they are, like I don't know if they're giants or whatever, they came here to create kind of like a slave race to do their work, to like dig up certain minerals out of the ground, build things for them. And I don't know why they left. That's my only thing. So
yeah, and
that's just my theory. I
well,
don't know if that's true, but
well, no, it's a good theory, and I've heard it
yeah.
from several other people. And
Hmm.
the only reason why you ever leave is because there is a bigger threat, and it's coming to get you.
That's true.
There's a
Yeah, so
revolt, and you
hmm
can't hold back. Like it's kind of like um, basically whoever has the most numbers win. Doesn't matter how advanced you are. If you have the
right.
numbers, you win. Um, so it could have been something like that,
Yeah.
or it could have been they just got bored.
I don't,
And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, and then there's this theory that they're going to return,
yes, I've
which
heard
scares the
that.
living crap out of me.
I've heard
Honestly, I
that
don't know
one.
why these beings scare me so much when I think of them. Uh, I just picture like these very tall, like almost like giants, humans that we refer to as gods, and they just for some reason they really frighten me, and I don't think they're nice. I
Yeah.
don't think, yeah, I don't know. It's just,
And you
um,
know what's interesting? Because I do believe that in ancient times, or at least ancient times for this life,
mhm.
I do believe that extraterrestrials, they did kind of portray gods in a sense.
Right.
I truly do believe that, and what
Mhm.
people mistook for mythicism was technology.
Mhm.
And not saying that there isn't real mythicism, but I just think in that
Mhm.
regards it was technology because many times, and this is across the world, different nations and tribes and ancient people, they've spoken about wars that they can't explain. Like over here with the Native Americans, they said that one of their gods actually warned them that a war was coming, and it was a reptilian god. And
Mhm.
it said, hey, something's gonna come. It's going to happen. It's going to be big and nasty. You guys need to go underground and protect yourselves. And
Mhm.
they, when they were excavating some sites, they found this door, and it's like, what the heck? This door isn't designed to keep people out. It's designed to keep people in. And
Mhm.
the text described that their god came and told them to build something like this. And then next thing you know, uh, the tribes talking about fire raining down from the sky and stuff. It was like, holy cow.
Okay. I've never heard that. I've
Yeah,
never
and
heard of that one,
then
but that's really interesting.
in India, they have texts talking about floating cities and firing fire at each other, like weird fire lights going back and forth and stuff. So,
Mhm.
I do believe that we have seen wars over this planet, and
I wouldn't doubt it,
we
you
couldn't
know?
explain it. So,
Yep.
so I think that the that some visitors, they portrayed gods. Whether they were benevolent or not is a different
Mm-hmm.
story.
Yeah.
Because again, if you look at your mythology, some gods were really, really cool, and other ones were just giant
Right.
jerks. And
Mm-hmm.
it
Really,
brings,
really cruel. Cruel.
like for instance, you have, now this is a weird one, but take for instance Greek mythology, and you have the Titans, then you have the gods, then you have humanity. Well,
Mm-hmm.
Kronos, the head Titan at the time, he was afraid that one of his kids would overthrow him and all that stuff, which it happened. Zeus got him, and then Zeus became the ruler of the planet. Okay, that's fine. But for some reason, Zeus did not want humanity to advance to certain levels. He did not want them to
Right.
reach Mount Olympus. He didn't want
Mm-hmm.
them to know anything about fire
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. And then when, oh, what was the Titan's name that introduced us to fire? Do you recall his name?
No, I actually don't.
Um, it's gonna bug me. It's on the tip of my tongue. It
Hmm.
is Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Prometheus gave man fire, and Zeus didn't like that. He didn't want that. So to punish him, he tied him to a rock and had a giant eagle or hawk come and like eat his liver every day, and it would always grow back, and it was very painful. Eventually, Hercules came and freed him, but why is it that Zeus didn't want man to advance or have fire, something that is greatly needed to survive?
Well, because like I don't know, but what I said back about how they kind of seeded life here to work for them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I think it has something to do with that. It's like we need you to do these things for us, but you can't come to our level,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. You
It's
always
kind of
have to
like
be a
dogs.
puppet.
Yeah, it's like how we uh humans uh bred dogs or whatever. Um it's kind of like that. Like we want them to obey us and work for us and do every all these things for us, but they have to be under us. We're always their master. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can only go so high, and
Right.
it
Like
could.
you're not above me, but you're gonna help me get this done. So I think it's something like that. And
Yeah,
um,
and I always wondered, like, what was that a extraterrestrial thing? Like, could they have been portraying gods? And if so, does that mean that at one point the world was divided into sections and each god had a territory, and the chief god, Zeus, in this case, was the one who just reigned supreme over everyone? If you have problems, go to him and stuff like that. But you got to keep your section in check. No one advances more than this. And if that is the case, would that explain why the world was destroyed several times? People advance too much,
it could be,
and
you
then
know.
if that
I
is the,
think I think that there were beings here that were kind of in these control positions and kind of running the show. And uh, it's like I just picture very, very angry, like tall, angry people. I don't know why I'm picturing that are like ordering ordering others around and fighting over this and fighting over that.
yeah, that
Um,
is kind of scary. But then,
yeah, it's scary. It frightens me.
yeah, and
And
then it goes to, like, let's say we advance too much again or whatever, and it's like, nope, time to hit reset.
well,
But
that's the thing. In a lot of scripture, or like ancient scriptures and stuff, it's always, I don't know if you've read like Revelation type stuff, but it's always about when humans finally see themselves as gods, you know, how, become spiritually aware And when they advance their technology, and when this happens, is when the God is going to come in and destroy the world and take it back or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
right. So, which to me is very cruel, but to each one's own, I guess.
Yeah, and the weird thing about that is, in a strange way, we are becoming gods. And by that, I mean with the creation of AI. In a strange way. Even though I personally don't think we should advance AI, it's just, I could see a Terminator type situation happening.
I
But
think we're advanced. It's like we're advancing. Humanity is advancing with technology and whatnot, but not spiritually, and that's going to be the
exactly.
issue. That's going to be the issue.
That's
That's
gonna.
what's going to bring this world down.
Yeah,
So,
so, but let's say these giant guys, let's say they do come back and everything, but now we know for a fact there are other watchers at play here. Do you think they would intervene and help out, or would they just say, whatever happens, happens, good luck?
um, oh, that's so hard to say, and I don't want to put my opinions out there for people to take, and then I frighten them or something. But it's like, well, going back to like with the hybrids too that are kind of here. Um, I don't know if it's like there's races that are trying to kind of save our species with hybrids, and then they take them if this were to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they know how destructive those beings are. Um, Otherwise, I don't think they would intervene.
Uh-oh. Well, that's not
I,
good.
I don't know. It just seems like they're not. It's kind of like we don't have anything to do with this, and we never did. So we
Yeah.
just have our people here,
Now,
and
that would be kind of messed up, because now it goes into a type of morality thing where is the right thing, is it right or wrong to not intervene and leave everyone to their fate? Because clearly, if people were created or seeded by these angry giant folks, then we have nothing to do with nothing. We are legit an innocent bystander in this. And
right.
if there is another group that has the ability to do something and to stop a genocide or whatever, and they stand by and do nothing, but they take the selected few, I mean, in my opinion, like, it's pretty
No,
jacked.
I know what you mean. And like I said, I don't really know if that's it. I'm just kind of thinking. I guess I'm just pulling things out. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
But I mean, also with the giants though, I don't believe that all of them are evil. So it's like I don't know if you have one group of human type beings and then you have another and they're going to be fighting over, and this is the idea of like God and Satan. You know what I mean?
yep.
I have no idea, honestly. I just think that there's some intervention with other species that's going on to try and kind of maybe save us, or I don't know. It's like, it's so hard because I wish somebody could tell me something, you know?
Hey, space people, star people, this is a good time to start channeling now.
Explain yourselves. They do speak to me through telepathy, so
Hey,
um,
it would be nice to get something going here. Come on, we're
I'm
live.
almost okay. It's funny because now I'm almost seeing someone like shaking their head like it's none of my concern or something, but I don't know. You know, I I don't know,
Well,
but
you, sir, I have some words for, but I will let it
yeah.
go.
Um, I don't think that it's like I don't know, you know?
Yeah,
Maybe who knows? Maybe those beings come here and they're actually very kind.
maybe.
But
I'll just say it like this. I think if it really came down to it, I think, and if there is a group that can do anything, I think they would. Like, I truly believe this because sometimes we say one thing like, man, there's no way I would do that. I'm not going to interfere and all that. But
Hmm.
it's totally different when it's right in your face and you know it's not right. And you're
Yeah,
going to act.
yeah,
So you can shake your
maybe
head
so.
all you want. All right. So,
Not me. Don't look at me. I'm not shaking my head.
well,
I
yeah.
would love. I would never want to see a whole species wiped out or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
If they come here, I think it's just going to be more about. I think there will be another war, but I don't know if. I don't know if it's between humans or.
Oh no, it
I
can't
don't.
be us. We'd get squashed like a bug.
Well, I mean, like between country and
Oh,
country,
oh
and then
yes.
they come in, and then those
Yeah.
beings come. But I don't know. It could go so many ways, you know.
Yeah. I bet you
It could
weren't
just go so many ways.
I bet you weren't expecting this one for this talk.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't expecting you to ask me, but it's funny because I've done research on it and I've been trying to understand like and the reason why is because I've actually had dreams. I just want to mention sometimes I have a dream and it comes to pass. And I did have a dream where I was shown that there would be another war or something, and it was really violent and brutal, even in my dream.
Oh.
I won't go into it. I'll write in my blog, but uh, I don't know if that's going to come to pass. I don't want to frighten anybody, but I was shown something of this nature. So,
Gosh, I hope that doesn't come true.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could have just been a warning. You know, this could happen if we continue like this.
Yeah, I mean, the future's
But
always in motion, as Yoda
right.
said, but here's
So,
hoping it doesn't. You know, all it takes is a few good people to just say no. That's it.
I feel almost like humanity is at a crossroads, and it's like we can either go down this way and uh kind of start over in this really destructive, awful way, or we could go down the other way, which is kind of more of the spiritual way, and we can slowly make it there without any trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
And it's like you have two groups, and it's you see it even now. You have the people who are starting to kind of wake up, um, and then you have the other people who are still kind of
just like, yeah,
yeah. So it's like I don't know. It could go either way.
yeah. So it's a
But
coin toss.
yeah,
But like I said, it only takes a few to get that voice out there.
right.
And
Yeah,
but it goes both ways. I mean, you can influence
yeah,
them to go destructive, or you can influence them to go at a slower pace but less destructive and just
yeah.
better
And
overall.
I think it's going to be a battle. It's going to be like this up and down, where one day we're closer to doomsday, and then the next we're completely in the other direction. I think it's just going to be this up and down fight.
Well, I'm laughing because it's just reminded me of something. For about 10 minutes, it was like world peace, and it was all because of
Yeah.
mistake. And that was when
Hmm.
Donald Trump's Twitter was taken offline. And
Yeah.
the world celebrated. It was like, whoa, the energy is amazing. And then it came
Yeah.
back and it was like instant depression.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, so if only. Could you imagine? Is that what it takes to get world peace? Just turn this Twitter thing off?
I know he's really pushing it.
Well, I try to look at it like this. In the States, at least, we needed something like this to happen to wake
Hmm.
people up and be like, all
Yeah.
right, this is
Right.
pretty bad. I'm not a fan
Yeah.
of Shillery either, but
Not a
actually,
fan of any of them,
yeah,
honestly.
we were talking too on election day when this mess was happening. Oh, you were so disappointed.
Yeah, because I really thought, I just thought, as much as I don't like her, I actually liked Bernie. I thought he was very
Yeah,
real.
there's a reason
Um,
why he is the most popular politician in the
but
States.
it's like I thought, okay, people aren't that stupid. We're not that stupid. But then it's like you have the behind the scenes going,
Yeah.
that influences the election, and I think actually she won, but
She won, but he won on a
yeah,
technicality. So,
right,
to prove your point, we aren't that stupid.
right,
It's just a
yeah,
technicality that got us that needs
that
to go
too.
away now.
But yeah, I mean, would I have preferred her over him? I mean, I don't really know. I
Yeah,
think that
it's
he's worse. It's like he's just worse,
well, I put it like this. It's one of those short-term versus long-term type things.
Hmm.
I think in the short term, if we can survive the short term, we were actually better off with Trump. And that's because we've learned many lessons. And in the long term, we're not doing that again.
Yeah,
But with Hillary, it pretty much would have been more of the same. I would say, but nothing would grow, nothing would fall. It's just like
yeah, you're
limbo.
right. You are right. At least he's kind of pushing pushing it, you know.
Yeah, so
So it's
it's
like people are
just
kind of like, whoa, 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 wait a second here,
yeah, it's just
you know.
surviving the short term. If
Right.
we can do that,
Yeah.
we're golden.
Well, hopefully we see something change. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, so fingers crossed there.
Mhm.
Hey, I know you can't possibly know the answer to this,
Mhm.
but do you have any idea on how the society works for what do you call them? Star people?
Like within their society?
Yeah, do they have politics or some of their? Do you know any of their customs or anything like that?
Um, it's like I'm just going off of my experiences, I guess, but it kind of seemed like there was a little bit of a hierarchy or something because the shorter beings were always kind of the ones to come and get me or work on me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed uh like the taller ones kind of more interacted with me a little bit,
Okay.
or just that one. I had another one that was seemed like a female, but I I don't know, honestly. It's like I don't think to our extent because they're so advanced on a spiritual level as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's just like that there's certain ones that are like good at certain things and then they run that. And I think that they do have like a military. I do believe that. But I don't think it's like us where we are
Invading and
so
blowing
yeah,
us up.
it's more like defense and
What a military is actually supposed to be.
yeah, it's not that's what I mean. It's not like we are, but I can't say for sure, you know?
Yeah, I've
And
always wanted to know about that. Even Matt couldn't really tell me anything, and same with
I
Rose.
let me tell you if one day they decide to come pick me up, I'll let you know.
Yeah, because I want to know, like,
Definitely will.
what is your society like? What do you do for fun? What do you eat? How's your politics? You guys have Republicans and Democrats and communists.
I doubt that. Yeah, I doubt it so much.
Boy, if they did, they'd be in trouble.
It's like I almost see a little bit of everything going on with them, where it's like nobody's bothering anybody, everybody's just doing their own thing,
Yeah,
um, and
almost,
helping each other when they need to.
yeah,
And certain ones are good at some things, and they do that, and then they kind of place each other that way, I guess.
yeah, and then not to be insulting, but I know I'm gonna be like if there is somebody listening to you or me right now, I know I'm gonna be insulting. But I couldn't help but think of Invader Zim when you were saying like the shorter ones kind of are here, and then you have the taller ones. Have you ever seen Invader Zim?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because well, I told you I've been having experiences since I was a little girl,
Uh-huh.
and that was actually when that show came out. It was my favorite show. Like I was obsessed with it. So yeah, I do know about that. And yeah, it's funny you say that. It's like
Yeah.
the
So,
taller ones are the leaders. I get that. I don't think it's like that.
well, I would
Um,
hope not. That would be
yeah, I don't,
pretty.
it's just funny. Um, I don't think it's like that where it's so hive mind,
Yeah.
I guess I want to say. I think it's just like, I don't know, I don't know. I hope it's not like, I don't think it is. But I'm going off of my experiences, it was always that the smaller ones I would kind of be working on me and would come and get me.
Okay. Well, it
Yeah.
also could be that they were the ones with the least amount of experience as well. And
Maybe. Or there's this theory, and I don't know because I haven't asked them, but that the smaller ones are kind of like created to do work, but I don't really know if I believe that. I think that it's just separate species or something, but I'm
yeah.
not sure.
Now,
Yeah.
did you ever find out what planets your visitors come from?
No. I was shown in a dream. I didn't mention this. I don't know if it was just me thinking about it and I had a dream, but I was kind of shown like how my beings were kind of created or how they came to be, which is I almost saw them in these like little sacks at the bottom of maybe a lake or an ocean. And they weren't like fully formed. So I that's kind of all I was shown.
Okay, now that sounds
Yeah.
like that movie Cocoon. Is that the name of the movie?
Cocoon.
Cocoon? I can't.
Cocoon.
Steve Guttenberg's in it. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up real quick. I
Mm-hmm.
maybe is that the name of the movie? But they let me see. What is it? Yeah, Cocoon. It was about um a few visitors. They came to Earth and they had to retrieve their kids, and they were in the water, and they were in these cocoon type things and
Mm-hmm.
it had to be in the water. And what was weird though was if you jumped in the water with them, it was almost like a fountain of youth, and it restored your vitality and just your youth and everything. You're jumping
Hmm.
around, doing some crazy things and stuff like that. And the ETs there, they were disguised as humans trying to get their kids. And for whatever reason, though, they had to hide them in the water because it was a danger or something going on. I can't
Hmm.
remember the movie exactly. It's been years since I've seen it, but
That's interesting.
yeah, for you to say that, I mean, and then I always say that oftentimes writers they they usually channel something that implants ideas. It's not just something that appears out of thin air all the time.
Oh no, not at all.
So
And a lot of them like study things too. Like they study
yeah,
experiences and because it has to come from somewhere. So
but yeah,
that's
that
why I always say like fantasy films and action movies, there's actually some truth in a lot of them with the things they say, so or do, I guess.
but
Um,
wow, you're making me wonder. I'm gonna
yeah.
have to rewatch that movie now, and you should definitely
Yeah.
check it out too to see if something rings a bell or
Okay.
not.
Yeah, I'll check it out. But yeah, that's kind of all I was shown. I'm trying to think if I'm trying to remember something, but it seems they haven't brought to me or me to that yet, or why not? I don't know. But yeah. Yep.
Well, you will certainly get there, I guess, depending.
Maybe. We'll see.
So, oh boy, how do I say this one? Because this is something I didn't ask you last time. But how how again, this is something you probably wouldn't know, but do you know
Hmm.
how their relationships work?
Um, okay, well, I am just regarding the taller being that came to me or took me or whatever, um, it seemed very like intimate. So I know a lot of people will come up with things and say that they're not able to like have sex or have emotions or love for others. I don't believe that at all. Because this being showed me uh, kind of the opposite, actually. And I mean, I don't, it's like, I think that they do have relationships, but I think it's more, you know how humans, we kind of can jump from partner to partner, or we find somebody we like better, or we're just kind of always looking somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's like that with them. I think they're very kind of close. They can be close to one other, like them, I guess,
Yeah.
or whoever. Uh, but I don't know. And with the reptilians, I think they're way more like humans. I think they can like.
Oh, they're freaks.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think they're, but I think the grays are more. Um,
Well, I want to say the best way to put it is a bit like a bird. Usually with
right.
birds,
You have like one mate, and you
yeah.
stick with that mate.
So, and I'm assuming if they are like that, it has to be with someone they legit like
Right.
on a spiritual
Right.
level and not just
Yeah.
physical.
Because
I
I also don't think that they view sex the way we do. I don't think that they're like um obsessed with it, I guess. I want to say where it's like I need sex, I need sex. I think it's like there has to be like a love connection very deeply.
Okay,
Uh
so
yeah,
they legit have to feel something. It's like, yeah, I mean, they
right.
don't care for the physical pleasure. It's the emotional and
No,
spiritual that they
right.
look forward to.
Hmm.
But
Um
I guess
the
I
reptilians, that's another story. I think they're a little freaky, so that's all right though.
yeah,
They're
okay,
good.
so I guess I'll be getting me a reptilian girl. Oh, yeah, look at Shalonda. Woo wee. Get your
Yeah.
skelly butt shaking girl.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think they're a little more like human beings with the that area. So, yep.
but that is good to know because I've never gotten any type of answer for that. Usually it's I have no idea or like they don't do anything. They just kind of think of it like Demolition Man or something where they put
Mm.
on some virtual reality helmet. I'm like, really? That's how that works?
Yeah. I think you're like you said it, I think they're a little more like birds. And I can't think of the word to describe that. So,
Yeah. This birds would just have to do.
yeah, that works. Love birds.
All right, we
So,
are going to start wrapping it up here. But
okay.
before we go, what is something you'd like to say for everyone out there listening or who will be listening in the future?
What do I want to say to everybody? Well, I just want to say that, and I mentioned this in my blog I wrote, if what I'm mentioning now is just kind of it, if something else happens to me, or I probably won't be talking about it for a while, just because, as you know, I'm not one to like blast things for everybody to hear very quickly. I mean, it took me years to come on here, so
Yep.
uh, I mean, if you are ever curious what's been going on, feel free to ask me one on one and be open minded about it. Um, because I'm okay with one on one with anything else that goes on. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if I have anything else right now.
All right, well, I have something. You've mentioned
Okay.
your blog several times, but you never told us where to
Hmm.
find it. So where can we find it?
I'll give it to you if you want to put it as a link or
Yes,
something.
I will definitely put it as a link.
Because I'm also going to be writing other stuff in there about like some of the dreams I had and just other stuff, Um,
Right,
just because now I like to write. So,
and I think that is a good place to end it. So,
yeah,
Morgan, thanks for coming on again
of course.
and giving us a lot of information and just talking a little bit of conspiracy and weirdness with
Hmm.
me.
Of course, yeah.
So, I hope you enjoyed.
All right.
And thank
Mhm.
you all for tuning in and listening. Also, guys, don't forget to follow Unexplained Possibilities on Facebook and Twitter. And also be sure to check out Morgan's blog, and all those links will be in the description below. And remember, guys, there are things that go bump in the night. Go ahead and tell them hi.